everyone for joining the Fusion Data Intelligence Product Roadmap webinar. As you know, we're hosting this webinars on a quarterly basis, aligned with our roadmaps release as well. So everything that we share, as you know, is under Safe Harbor Statement, and the product strategy team is managing the Oracle Analytics community and also hosting these webinars. The team is led by Ben Arnold, our Senior Director of Product Strategy. And you see our entire team in this slide. We are also joined today by the amazing product management team for the Fusion Data Intelligence. Stefano Schmitz, Group Vice President for the Product Management for the FDI, Ash Bajpai, Naren Chawla, Nupur Joshi, Guy Mikely, Amit Goyal, and Dave Granholm. So we're grateful for the Oracle product management team that have joined us today as well. So in regards to today's agenda, I'm going to cover a few updates on the community website. Stefan will provide some welcome notes and high-level overview for the strategy and roadmap on the FDI side. Ash will walk us through ERP and SCM Analytics roadmap. Nupur will provide the HCM Analytics roadmap updates. Naren will go through the CX Analytics roadmap. Amit will walk us through the administration and security roadmaps. Dave will cover the user experience, and Guy will cover all the excitements for the AI and ML capabilities that are coming up. So as you know, we try to make sure that we answer any questions that you have. So feel free to put your questions in the Q&A box today. We have a packed agenda, so we may not be able to answer them live, but as we move forward, we try to answer them through the Q&A box. If we get time at the end, we definitely want to answer some of the questions live as well. So this is Farid Javan Mahdi. I'm a Senior Principal Product Manager with the Product Strategy team here at Oracle Analytics. And I just wanted to provide some updates on the community website. So you may have joined this webinar by getting the information from the events page on the community, but you also may have seen the information on LinkedIn or have received the invitation from your colleagues. So if you're not familiar with the community, please go ahead. I'm going to put the links in the chat. Take a look at the website. We have some new information that is now available on the community website that includes the visualization gallery. So you may have heard that we hosted a data visualization challenge, and we announced the winners a few weeks ago. So all those visualizations are now available in the gallery. If you want to get inspirations, or if you just want to share your own visualization, that's a great way to do that. You can access trainings, ask questions, and share ideas. So the Idea Lab is a single source of the product feedback and enhancements requests that you have for us. So feel free to take a look and contribute. And with that, I'd like to invite the product management team. So I'm going to start with Stefan. Stefan, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. If you can go to the next slide. Okay, perfect. So first of all, a warm welcome to this product roadmap webinar. So what I want to start out with is just to give you kind of an overview of our kind of midterm and long-term product direction. Obviously, what we are doing right now is to continue to expand our content coverage, the coverage of the various functional areas across the 4 Fusion cloud application pillars. We are making good progress there, but there are still obviously certain modules, areas that we haven't covered yet. So for the foreseeable future, we're going to continue to build out package subject areas, pre-built content, to cover those areas. And also at the same time, we're going back and based on your customer feedback, enhancing existing areas that we had delivered in prior releases. So that's definitely a top priority. We also are thinking, and we haven't really started to do so, but to eventually verticalize our content for specific industries. Right now, if you look at the spectrum of content that we deliver, the various KPIs, they're really designed to be applicable to a vast majority of different industries, but over time, we are planning to also, basically deliver, versions of that content that are tailored to the specific needs of industries like, the health industry, financial services, and so forth. And then ultimately, where we also would like to get to, and that is definitely, years away, I would say, is we want to loosen up and eventually even eliminate the dependency of the apps and the services that we provide from the Oracle applications, right? So we want to provide so much value by bringing in data from non-Oracle sources that you, as a customer, even if you're not using Fusion Cloud application, you would still find value in buying our application because we connect to so many other non-Oracle application and sources that it's worthwhile to use our applications. But that's definitely something that's years away from now. Right now, we are hyper-focused on our Oracle Fusion Cloud customers, and that's going to be the case for the next couple of years. And then finally, obviously, everything that we do going forward is very much, centered around enhancing and improving our capabilities with the power of AI, especially Gen AI. So a lot of the enhancements that we're doing are going to be improved through the power of artificial intelligence and machine learning models. So we're really doubling down on that investment. And Guy on my team is going to take you through some of those initiatives that are well underway. So that's kind of permeating the entire roadmap going forward. So if we go to the next slide, I'm not going to spend much time on the next slide here, and that is the roadmap that you also have access to on oracle.com. We, on a quarterly basis, we refresh that, and you can access it. As you all know, we have 4 quarterly releases. Again, as I said, we're continuing to build out our content coverage across the 4 pillars. There are a number of platform capabilities that serve all of the 4 Fusion data intelligence pillar products that we're building. And again, last but not least, there's a lot of investment, increased investment that we're doing into AI and machine learning powered capabilities. So with that as an overview and just give you a sense of where we're heading with the product long term, let me hand it over, I believe, to Ash to take you into more details around ERP and supply chain management.
Hey, thank you, Stefan. We can move to the next slide, please. Okay, so on ERP Analytics, maybe I'll just start from left and walk towards the right here. What you see in the update section is primarily focused on R4 and R1 combined. I'll just hit a couple of highlights. We've been firing on all cylinders across finance procurement projects and really driving improvements there based on the requirements we've been getting from all of you. In finance, especially, configurable account analysis is a keystone feature for us. It's widely used by accountants for a variety of account analysis use cases, and we'll continue to beef that up. You will see that to be a theme in the upcoming releases as well. And then on the procurement side, you will see that we are starting to get into business process insights for all your key transactions like purchase orders, agreements, and you will continue to see that as a theme going forward as well. This is really going beyond answering the most important business questions around spend or what percentage of your spend is associated with purchase orders. Those are kind of business-centric questions, but then going into process-centric questions as to how many steps of approvals did you have on your PO process going end to end. Things of that nature. All right, moving on to the upcoming, which really speaks to the next couple of releases for the most part, barring maybe 1 or 2 exceptions. Going from top to bottom in financials, like I had mentioned about configurable account analysis, we continue to expand the coverage. Our goal will be to add some more attributes around purchasing, especially PO number for payable distribution, invoice number for receipt accounting. And eventually we want to position ourselves for adding new sources that will be, which are coming up here for RMCS, lease, and cash management. That's going to happen towards the later part of this year. Number three on bullet item there is frequent data refresh. I'm pretty sure that Amit will talk about that a little bit more, but we have received a lot of feedback from customers that you want more data and you want faster refreshes. You want the data to be refreshed faster from the data sources, and data latency needs to come down. So for ERP and supply chain, we have done a significant redesign that you will see coming out in R2 and R3 releases. And I would say all the most important transactional areas where there is a high data velocity in the source, you will see that we will start to support more frequent refreshes within FDI. Keep in mind that there will always be data elements like ML attributes and such, which we will not refresh, which will be part of the nightly refresh. The fourth item there, EPM data integration. We do have EPM data integration in place today. We have a connector. It's not the most optimized integration experience that you expect. So we've received that feedback from many customers as well, and we are coming up with a next generation experience which will provide you a way to seamlessly integrate with EPM, and within FDI, you will be able to define, if you want to bring data from PBCS or FCCS, what applications, what cube, what hierarchy members you want to pull into FDI. So you'll be able to define that within FDI, and once you have defined those data pipeline jobs, it will run just like you run data pipeline jobs for Fusion data sources. So that's our goal. I expect that by the time we get into R3, we should be starting to roll that out to select few customers. So if you're interested around R3 timeframe, please reach out to us. On content expansion, the three areas that I want to quickly highlight: cash management. So cash managers and executives will be able to analyze bank statement balances, bank statement transactions. That's something that's trending for R3, so towards the later part of this year. Then revenue management cloud service data that revenue managers and analysts can use to analyze contracts, performance obligations, promise details, including billing satisfaction, performance events. That's really critical for our revenue managers to analyze all the aspects of how you're managing your revenue for your business. That's something we will start to release in R2. And then on lease accounting, there are a lot of our customers who use our lease accounting capabilities in Fusion for expense lease as well as revenue lease. Our focus for now is on expense lease analytics. We will start to support all the use cases that leverages data like lease contracts, will provide lease asset details, payments, option schedules, rights and obligations. So if you want to do an analysis on lease liability trends, you'll be able to do that, just as an example. So that's a very significant expansion that we are doing on financials into cash management, RMCS, and expense leases. Moving on to procurement, as you all know, that we do support all the key transactions and analytics associated to purchase order, receipts, agreements, contracts on procurement side. But sourcing plays a really important role for chief procurement officers and category managers, especially when you want to start looking at your RFIs, RFPs, RFQs, and see, if you're moving the needle in terms of accomplishing the goals for your sourcing strategy. And we will have that data available within FDI for the CPOs and the category managers. We are planning two subject areas, one on sourcing negotiations and the second one on responses and awards. So that's coming up in R2. Then I had mentioned that we are getting into business process insights on all your key transactions. So in that spirit, you will start to see agreement change orders, which will appear sometime in R2, R3 timeframe. Now, moving on to projects. On projects, we see really solid usage across many of our customers who are engaged in project-centric business models. And for them, for project managers, financial analysts, executives who want to review billing events and associated revenue impact, do detailed analysis of these events and try to figure out how it maps to specific projects, tasks, contracts. You'll be able to do that kind of analysis using project billing events combined with your other project subject areas, and that's something which is coming up in next couple of releases as well. Last one, sustainability. We've worked very closely with our Fusion sustainability team to provide all the sustainability data that you are capturing in Fusion, so you can look at your scope 1, 2, 3 emissions. This is available today in limited availability. So if any one of you is interested in giving it a try, we'll be happy to enable it for you. So do reach out to us. That's on ERP. If we move to the next slide, I can hit a couple of highlights on supply chain as well. The first swim lane that you see, first section, is it maps to R4 and R1. We have done fairly significant delivery during R4 on manufacturing and maintenance. So we added 3 new subject areas for maintenance: resources, materials, and operation transactions, which is a huge accomplishment. It's a significant expansion. Then one thing which is not here on the first lane because it's a limited availability feature, but I want to make sure that you're all aware of it, is we have also launched planning analytics. And we will get into preview in coming releases, but planning analytics is available for anybody who is interested in trying that out. And I know it's going to play a really important role for any kind of integrated business planning use cases that you might have, where you want to look at all your supply plan, demand plans, and figure out what impacts it has in terms of how you're managing your supply chains. Looking at upcoming bucket, um, when we look at the first section of inventory and costing, receipt accounting analytics is something we launched last year. We continue to enhance that. It provides analytics on an accounting distribution associated with all your receipts. We are enhancing that to add GL segments, PO attributes. All of that is happening over the next couple of releases. We move to the next bucket on planning, manufacturing, and maintenance. This is where I mentioned planning earlier, that we launched that. We will be adding more cross-subject area support for planning analytics. We will be supporting dimensional value-based hierarchies. We'll be doing some presentation enhancement. So what you will see right now, the way our presentation folder is organized, I think will make it a little bit more user-friendly. There are other user experience changes that we are doing. So all of that is going to happen over the next couple of releases. I think it's going to take us 2 or 3 releases to kind of beef up planning analytics and make it, GA ready, if you will. But our goal is to get it to preview pretty soon. And then moving on to logistics real quick, we did provide a connector to WMS late last year. That connector is still in place. So if you are interested, please let us know. We'll have to enable it for you. But the important thing is we've started to work on pre-packaged WMS features. We are starting off with WMS inbound transactions, which will provide insight into supplier delivery performance and quality. That's something we are planning for 25 R2. We will continue the work in 25 R3 and R4 beyond inbound shop transactions to potentially look at on-hand balances and outbound transactions as well. So if you have any interest in WMS, please reach out to us. We'll be happy to understand your needs and requirements as well. So with that, I will stop and hand it over to the next person.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Ash. Nupur, thanks for joining us. Please take it away.
Most welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Ash. Thank you, Farid. Hello, everyone. So for FDI HCM, let's start with People Leader Workbench, which was launched at last Cloud World and which empowers the business leaders with outcome-focused decision-making. Let's first take a look at what's already been delivered under People Leader Workbench umbrella and what is the rich roadmap ahead. So in the current capabilities for People Leader Workbench, we have payroll spend use case with a couple of topic pages, some goals to be set up for that to manage the payroll spend and the levers to manage your payroll spend. In the upcoming enhancement under People Leader Workbench, we are also delivering salary spend and pay equity related discussion topic pages, followed by guided tips and drivers, which would help your business leaders to understand which workforce aspects are driving the payroll and salary spend, enabling smarter and faster decision making. In the future vision, we'll be moving towards under People Leader Workbench, we'll be moving towards staffing and attrition insights. So the future updates in People Leader Workbench would largely focus on attrition, skills, staffing, and recruitment efficiencies, helping leaders identify flight risks early and plan skill coverage and recruitment strategies proactively. Other key deliverables under talent covers gigs, a new subject area as in gigs, skills and endorsement KPIs, a learning would become GA. Under HR, we have, under core HR, we are delivering a bunch of new KPIs across gender, promotion, and new enhanced new hire KPI. Under recruitment, additional KPIs, again, time to hire and application rate, withdrawn rate, etc. From platform capability standpoint for HCM, now all your people leaders, you can extend payroll subject area, payroll analytics access as well, because payroll analytics has been enhanced for with security updates on that, so that you can extend it to line managers, people leaders as well. And talent acquisition data security also has been enhanced. Under upcoming bucket, we have a powerful bunch of powerful features. First one is the benchmarking capability. The first will start with peer benchmark. And with capability to have peer benchmark across attrition, team composition, and recruitment efficiency. We'll also be delivering AI assistant for workforce score. So this AI assistant is a smart conversational tool which would not only help your HR, but also your business leaders to get instant answers from their workforce data without needing to know the technicalities of reports and BI jargons. So it will for example, it would let you ask questions in plain language, like which departments have highest attrition, or what's the salary by gender, so on and so forth. So basically, it would empower your manager and HR partners to make faster data-driven decisions without relying on the technical details. And also, like, it saves a lot of time by replacing a lot of back and forth on reporting requests, because it's more or less a self-service exploration. And it becomes, your data and your people analytics becomes much easily accessible, intuitive, and impactful across your organization. Under talent bucket, we'll have learning V2. A bunch of new AI features will get delivered. That is performance review and sentiment analysis. Under core HR, we are also delivering a new subject area on benefits. Flight risk prediction would be an AI app. For payroll and compensation, there's yet another AI app that will get delivered in upcoming bucket, that is pay equity and bias detection. From platform enhancement standpoint, we'll have a bunch of security updates. So this has been most asked, would be about feature on security. So in HCM, all our customers would be able to flip the out-of-the-box data behavior, which today grants the most restrictive access. So you'll be able to change it to less restrictive access without getting into any of the customization steps. And learning management subject area also has bunch of security enhancements and line manager security enhancements on learning as well. Under future bucket in FDI HCM, we'll have scheduling analytics. For talent, we will have inferred skills, grow connections. From payroll standpoint, payroll and compensation standpoint, under salary basis, today we only support incremental component, but in future, we will have a simple component, pay rate based component, compensation zone, and other features under salary basis. Payroll will have element entry to run result and payroll to GL breakdown analyzer. That's under the future bucket. And from platform standpoint, we'll have support for frequent data refresh to external data connectors to various survey or labor market and EPM and so on and so forth. And on a security standpoint, we will have configurable AOR security. So today what we have is when customers are using area of responsibility in HCM, the customers have to go through 8 to 9 steps of customization, and then they'll be able to configure security using area of responsibility data. But in future, we will deliver a configurable feature where without probably it's still in the design and discussion phase, but with couple of fields selection, you'll be able to configure your area of responsibility based data security. So that is all I have from HCM standpoint, FDI HCM and people leader workbench standpoint, and I'll hand it over to the next presenter. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nupur. Naren, welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Nupur. That was a lot. So from a CX Analytics perspective, I think one key message I'll give to everybody is that we are building this application to achieve revenue intelligence. And the messaging is that we can unify front office, mid office, and back office to help our customers increase their top line revenue. And when we say front office, we cover all the applications from marketing like Eloqua, sales, service. And for mid office, we cover CPQ and subscription. So we have coverage for all of them. And of course, our customers can use FDI for supply chain, for order management, and also ERP. And then all of them sort of come together to help them with their use cases. So that's our goal. And for update we have is, the biggest update that we have is now because a lot of our customers will use Fusion ERP, but they will use Salesforce for CRM as well. So we treat Salesforce as an Oracle system. We have native coverage for Salesforce. It's just not a connector, but we have built subject areas in the product itself since last release or so. And then we have been adding more and more content into it. So all the opportunities, accounts, contacts from Salesforce, we bring into our system itself. So when you go into account and if they have Salesforce, don't fear, you can actually sell them CX Analytics Q to help with their bringing the sales data as well into the system. What is upcoming? So we are kind of doubling down on AI, as Stefan mentioned. So my team is furiously working on building models, agents, and so on and so forth for AI. So one key application that we are working on and will release soon is something called dynamic revenue prediction. So basically, you can think of sales forecasting, but this is much bigger than sales forecasting because we focus more on revenue as opposed to sales one in the CRM system. So that app will help with being able to help with the operational decisions, because we'll have dynamic forecasting happening on daily basis, more accurate forecasting because we have universe of data coming from different cross-pillar systems into it. So we are super excited about it, which will hopefully help us disrupt the market in terms of how people do forecasting. CPQ is not CPQ, it's CPQ. It's a configure price quote. But basically, this is a hot area for us. As you probably know, Oracle has a differentiated offering in this, and it's growing that business. And CPQ doesn't have good analytics built into the system, unlike, say, Fusion Sales or Fusion ERP. We have OTBI. They don't have good reporting, so our customers struggle with having good analytics for CPQ. So what we have done is we have created an API and bring all the CPQ data into FDI, and we have quote pricing analytics, pricing intelligence built into it as well. And then a lot of our customers actually like to combine CPQ data with supply chain data, so they can compute not only the pricing, if I may, but also the margins that come from supply chain system itself. So very interesting use cases. Another big thing that we are launching is incentive comp. So we have been at it, and actually this is a one of the huge investment we have made is coverage for incentive comp. So there are very large customers who use our incentive comp system, and because of the number of transactions, it's very difficult to do reporting in the source system. So we are extracting all these granular transactions that are happening, and then very important area from a customer perspective, because all the sales compensation is computed on real time, very fast, I guess, not real time. And then we have all this subject data around attainments, earnings, hierarchies that we are releasing. So we actually will GA this or LA this product in May timeframe. So this is a good opportunity for us to build a pipeline and sell this to our customers. And then since Salesforce has a different security, so we will actually uptake their security as well in future release. And then we already cover Eloqua, and with what is upcoming is we are going deep into it in terms of influence analysis. So basically being able to unify sales and marketing. We also call it marketing intelligence, if I may, right? We have very good references as well. Customers using this, being able to get data from sales system, whether it's Salesforce or Fusion Sales Cloud, marry that with Eloqua, and then have that sort of influence analysis or doing campaign ROI. So fantastic use case. We are going deep into it. We're also building some attribution models in the system, multi-touch attribution. So that's exciting stuff happening over there. And furthermore, more conformance on Salesforce data model with Fusion data model. And then the Fusion team is launching a new product called Fusion Marketing, which is combination of Unity and the sort of new stack of Eloqua on Fusion. So this is also analytics, something like similar to OTBI. There'll be like pre-built analytics in the Fusion Marketing product as well that the team is launching. In future, now that we have detailed CPQ data, we're super excited to talk about pricing optimization intelligent app. So you can think of this application which will help the salespeople and the pricing managers being able to price an individual deal with the right discounting, and then also help the pricing managers to reprice on every quarterly or annual basis. So there is very intelligent algorithms we are building into it, which will allow you to cluster and segment your customers and help with pricing. So super excited about that as well. Then there is a lot of demand on the field service. So this is again an Oracle acquisition of TOA system, and it seems like we have one of the top applications out there, and that is growing as well. We are building native subject areas to bring work orders and different sort of elements from field service. We will combine that with Fusion service, with supply chain, with ERP, maintenance cloud, and other system as well. So a lot of use cases around Asset 360, looking at all your assets, profitability, workforce optimization, like how people are working, and so on and so forth. So there are hundreds of KPIs that we have built as part of that. And then subscription is a growing area for us. So we are building a way for you to actually look at a cohort and analyze how they are performing over quarter or year over year. Furthermore, we will go deep into incentive comp and payments, and then we are conceptualizing a new app as well around being able to help with quota setting in such a way that we can make sure that the sales expenses are reasonable, and at the same time, the attrition remains low as well for the salespeople. So we'll talk more about in the next call, but we are working on that AI application for incentive comp as well. And I think, as I mentioned earlier, we already have field service. We're working on field service analytics. And then furthermore, we are seeing a strong demand for Salesforce. A lot of our customers saying, okay, fine, you have the Sales Cloud from Salesforce, but they're asking us to build content for marketing systems from Salesforce Service and CPQ as well. And finally, the Fusion team has a huge sort of investment in Unity, which is a customer data platform. Customers use that to create intelligent audience segments. We will be able to bring data from Unity into FDI, and then we can have what I call like segment to cache. So basically, if you create audience segments in Unity, then you run campaigns, create opportunities, and so on and so forth. So the entire reporting from like all the way from segments in Unity, and then being able to report the ROI of that. And this is what they call account-based marketing. Will support these use cases. So that's all I have for today, Fari. We'll move to the next presenter.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Naren. Appreciate all the information. And Amit, I'll pass it over to you.
All right. Thank you. I'm just posting the documentation link to regions in the chat window. So as far as regions are concerned, we added Zurich in Switzerland late last year. We added Montreal and Winhedo, as well as European Union Sovereign Cloud, right? So, and we support both Madrid and Frankfurt. Upcoming, in a month, we'll support Milan, Santiago, and then we will round it out in the future in OC1 regions with Monterrey in Mexico, Riyadh, and Stockholm. As far as US Gov, we are working on US Gov certification. We are going through staging and so forth. And then next year, we should be live in US Gov in OC2 and OC3 regions. As far as provisioning, I think for most of current customers, of course, you already have the universal cloud credit as a prerequisite, when you create instances. But starting March, we no longer require that as a prereq. You still need it if you want to scale up your systems and purchase more resources, but it's not a prereq for activation. In the data platform area, we added bulk data augmentation, fusion augmentation source. What that means is bulk data augmentation means you can bring in multiple tables in one shot, in one job. The fusion augmentation source is just a way to get data augmentations from the fusion source in parallel to your regular pipeline. Let me just go through the current column, the update in 25R1. So in apps extensibility, semantic model extensibility 2.0, right? That's a higher performance framework. We now have auto migration tools available, and we have kind of migrated everyone using those tools. In the intelligent apps area, we have alerts and ways to bundle the app. In security, we have had this feature, configurable security context, in preview for a while. Now it's GA. Moving on to the upcoming column. In the data platform, as Ash mentioned earlier, and Nupur mentioned, frequent data refresh. So we are doing a re-architecture in line with the Medallion architecture to have more consistency of data. So that will roll out in 25R2 and R3. Data pipeline observability is around being able to figure out, when are jobs starting, ending, what is the expected time they're going to finish. So that's something that we are going to add soon. Intelligent data lake integration is about publishing. So by default, of course, the data shows up in ADW, right? And but we do have an ability to publish to the intelligent data lake, which is the Oracle OSS, and then you can use it for ML, Spark jobs, things of that nature. In the apps extensibility, we intend to do more work in pre-built ML app extensibility. Moving to the future column. So provisioning, my colleague Dave will talk more about the operation reporting feature. We do intend to build a disaster recovery SKU. So we are it'll take some time, right? And meanwhile, we do have documentation on how to set up a backup kind of instance, manage it yourself. But we do intend to build a disaster recovery queue in the future. And then we have a data share capability coming up where you can take the data in ADW and you can say, well, for this particular subject area, I would like to publish it to Azure or Google Cloud or AWS and so forth. In the future, we do intend to support multiple languages, per instance. And then Pipeline Builder is a way to create custom data configurations and build your own app, essentially, and let it be run on our pipeline infrastructure. As far as apps extensibility, intelligent apps, the ability to build your own VP or visualizations around the intelligent apps eco framework. And when it says ML apps extensibility here, that's about being able to bring in custom data and add it as an attribute to the models that we use. There was a question earlier, and I mentioned that, credit risk, for example, you could add that as a custom data and use that in the model. All right, over to you, Dave.
Okay, thank you, Amit. Amit, Guy, and I get to share a slide, so we can luxuriate here for a moment. But I'll talk a little bit about these. I don't know. Hopefully you can see my mouse, but the user experience sections of this page. Now, of course, user experience is filtered amongst all the things that you've heard so far today. But as far as characterizing where we're putting our energies across these three sort of timeframes, I would say it's firstly around an expansion and a sophistication of our application capabilities, as well as data that we can incorporate into these applications. And then as the experience grows and becomes broader, secondly, an orientation for the user to those expanded capabilities. So the first thing that I'll talk about in the current column is FDI operational reporting. And we have an LA going for this right now with about 10 customers. This is effectively bringing the OAC workbook experience to OTBI data or Fusion data. So whereas currently we have our analytical subject areas coming from our ADW, this brings into the equation the same subject areas that we can see within the Fusion applications right now. So in the same place on the glass, we will have both access to both of those types of data and the kinds of analytics that we can build with that. So that's now. Now this is a long-term theme which moves over into the upcoming region where we're building a specific admin console for this capability. And ultimately, in the future, this lens is what we could consider as modern analytics for Fusion applications. So this capability of workbooks within Fusion is on the roadmap, gaining a lot of momentum. And not only does this provide just the basic tooling, but provides an opportunity for lots of interesting content to be built and to be able to upgrade to the full capabilities of Fusion Data Intelligence. So this sort of sweeps across all the columns. Now, in the upcoming column, we've talked a lot about the intelligent apps and the workflows that those support. Nupur referenced some specific capabilities around factor analysis. That's identifying what are the factors that are contributing to the current state. How can I explain what's happening? And coaching to further illuminate why things are happening or what we should do next, right? The closed looping and the addressing of the things that we're seeing within our applications is wholly part of the intelligent app workflow. A lot of work is happening in this release around the People Leader Workbench, and as Naren mentioned, he hopes to launch the dynamic revenue prediction application. So there's all the concomitant UX for those apps. While we're talking about intelligent apps, the lion's share of the work coming beyond the upcoming column, that's really our next release. The first column is our current release, is around further enhancements to the supply chain command center that Ash was talking about, as well as introducing the pricing optimization application that Naren was talking about. And then finally, I mentioned orientation to all of these great capabilities. We're doing a lot of work, which will come later in the year, and we'll talk about this at Cloud World, around a new homepage experience. So this homepage experience will provide an orientation for the end user to not only sort of pillar specific, but cross-functional analyses and content, personalized by function or role or even persona. So how do I find the good stuff, right? How do I get to what I really want to see? And then secondly, as part of this sort of a revamped application experience, we're introducing the idea of an organized content workbook. And this is effectively sort of an Uber dashboard, almost a mini app that encapsulates all the KPIs and the relevant analyses organized around a specific business purpose. So it's bigger than a workbook, but it's smaller than an application. But this provides like a great starting point to see what's going on in my application, to get a high-level assessment, and then to drill down to any of the wealth of the existing workbooks and dashboards that you know today. So that's my brief overview on the user experience, and I'll hand it over to Mr. McKaylee. Guy, take it away, Guy.
It works much better when I'm not muted. Thank you. Hi, everyone. How are you guys doing? My role here is, I'm very lucky, I'm going to talk about AI and ML. And today, actually, there are a few things that you can see in the presentation about AI and ML, but I actually want to focus on one of them. And that's going to be something that I'm going to talk about within the thing that we already launched, the thing that we will launch, and then the future. And that's an NL2 query agent that allows customers to use natural language to query their data. OAC released on their May release a new product called OAC Assistant. It's an old new product. The UI looks the same, but in the backend, it's a completely revamped system. It's using an LLM, specifically Llama 3.3, if I recall. Yeah, Llama 3.3, fine-tuned for NL2 SQL, and it works pretty well on Assistant because, on OAC when the data set is extremely small. For us, it's currently not active, it's a preview. So it means that we are now looking into identifying a few customers and onboarding them. And I'm telling you all of that with great joy because the benefit that these customers are going to get is humongous. It's working, it's not magic, and I'll explain it in a second, but basically it allows you to ask questions and you don't have, like if you're an author and you want to create a visualization and you're not super familiar with some of the larger data subject areas, then you would need to do a lot of drag and dropping. With natural language, you don't need to do that anymore, and your productivity becomes significantly better. I said before, it's not magic. Why is it not magic? Because when you try, like if you think about LLMs, they have a very limited context window. You can't just upload all your data to the LLM and let the LLM deal with that. In fact, LLMs, the most advanced and expensive LLMs today, have a context window of 128K. And therefore, like, there's no chance that you will be able to upload everything. You need to index it, run smaller LLMs before that, and create the queries, the prompts that are going to be sent to the LLM. And that's something that we are doing now with customers. The Pillar PMs spent a lot of time indexing several subject areas that are highly used, and we are trying that now with customers. In the near future, we're going to GA that. So we're going to run it for a beta program, for a preview program for a while, and then we're going to release it for everyone. And so like it's an LA, and then it will be released as a GA. And this kind of falls within my 5 minutes, and reach out to me if you want to understand more about what does it mean to use an NL2 query agent within FDI. That's it.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Guy. Thank you so much to the entire product management team. We have a few more minutes, actually 10 more minutes left. So if there are any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Seems that there is one question about the case management data. I'm going to read it. Any plan to include case management data into FDI? So I see Naren has dropped, but if from the PM team, if you have any information that you can share, please feel free to go ahead. And also we'll look into the Q&A box to see if we have more questions coming up.
I'm not sure any of us will be able to speak to case management. We can certainly follow up with Naren and get back to.
I assume this question this question refers to service cases, but maybe Jaideep, if you can just clarify that by posting that into the Q&A. If it is around service cases, then the answer would be that is on the longer term roadmap. Right now we're, as Naren explained, we're primarily focused on sales, marketing, and CPQ and Eloqua marketing automation systems and applications. So yeah.
Perfect. And I think JD sent a link that.
Oh, okay. So it's actually HR help desk. So maybe Nupur, you can answer that.
Yeah. So Jaideep, we'll circle back on this. We have support for HR help desk, but so case management will circle back on this. We'll update you on this. We'll share updates on this soon.
Okay.
Wonderful. Okay.
So yeah, as far as so Hendrik asked a question about application tools enhancements, what new features indeed will be coming. So there's a separate series of webinars that we're doing around the platform capabilities of OAC, in particular DV, and all the various capabilities that our sister team is delivering. So I would point you to that. We can probably provide you a link after this webinar where you can find information when those are being hosted and presented.
Yeah, and you mentioned, Hendrik, application tools enhancements. If you have any further clarity on what you are thinking there, we're happy to hear that. I did mention in the Q&A to you earlier that we're building some tools around a workbook advisor where we can introspect the workbook and we can identify ways to optimize performance for that workbook. So things like think about this additional column, which can provide some dependent analysis, or these filters should be included to get to a performant outcome. So we can actually query the workbook and we provide a little report about things that you can look at. And I really like the idea too about AI informing how we are constructing deep links. We're thinking in the lab and working through some tooling around constructing deep links too, because those can be a little convoluted and complex, to give the author sort of a hands up in getting started on creating deep links, which are those integration flows back into Fusion or other applications. We're even expanding that to include REST APIs, et cetera. So may be interesting to others.
And then also, Hendrik, you had a question about genealogy data. I'm not quite sure exactly what you're referring to here. You're talking about lineage data. But maybe if you can just post again and clarify what you mean by genealogy. I'm not quite sure how to interpret that.
I see one here around these explainability supported for seeded subject areas. I think that's not, if that includes the explain feature as well as contextual insights. It's true that those features originated against data sets, but in almost every case, we're moving to subject area support for those features for our application customers.
That question may also be...
Could be yours, yeah.
Maybe. It can be understood both ways. So you answered one way. Another way to answer it is explainability of ML features, of predictions. This is a feature that we have on the roadmap.
Yeah, and maybe also worth mentioning that with regard to the use of the AI assistant, Guy has been leading an initiative to introspect all of our subject areas and index those both for data and metadata, as well as pillar specific context, to make that feature even more useful for our application customers.
That's the magic behind the scenes. Yeah.
It's the Michele magic. Yes.
Okay. So Hendrik qualified this question a little further, and I see that Rama is typing a question. Rama, you can also answer it live if you want to.
Yeah, Henry. If you are looking for BOM, so it is planned for midterm, so 2 to 3 releases away. And if you're looking for genealogy kind, that is also we are thinking in. So that will come after the bill of material. Hope I answered your question.
Yeah, and also maybe sort of generally related is the Content Explorer workbook that we now ship as part of our factory content, which can allow you to peruse those modules that you've enabled versus ones that you may not have, as well as see custom content and extensions that you've made to the factory content through this this tool.
There is another question. I'm going to read it. Any plans to bring Power Apps data integration to FDI?
So I assume this refers to Microsoft Power Apps. Not at this point. I wouldn't rule it out in the future, but currently we don't have any concrete plans, no.
And I see a question about having access to this PowerPoint. So I sent the event page earlier in the chat, and I'm going to put it in the chat again. The slides in a PDF format, as well as the recording of the session, will be available on the community website in this event page that you've just registered for the event. And it will also be, the recording will also be available in the Oracle Analytics YouTube channel. The timing takes probably about 24 to 48 hours to have the recording available in the YouTube. Okay. And I think another question from Akil, is semantic extensibility 2.0 way better than the current branch framework? Is it worth migrating?
Yes, the performance is much better, and I believe you have to migrate. Yeah.
Perfect. I think there is a question that is in the chat. I know, again, Naren is not here, but Gary says, we see a lot of demand for subscription for ERP Analytics customers. Any chance we could make that functionality part of both ERP Analytics and CX Analytics? So.
Yeah, so Naren is not here. I look at my answer would be yes. I am not aware at this point of any concrete plans to do so, but it's perfectly reasonable. So yeah, we can circle back on that and provide more details, Gary. Gary, we know you well. Amit, there's, I think, another question for you.
Hendrik, could you clarify when you say mud? So the multi-user dev, not in the FDI semantic model framework. There is multi-user integration within the OAC semantic modeler. But yeah, right now there is no plan for that in the FDI SME. So one way to use that is to do your work in the semantic modeler and bring that in.
Okay, I guess we're a little bit over time, but the last question that I'll just quickly answer here is from Richard. In terms of the calendar for frequent data refreshes and which modules it will cover. We can provide some more detail. I mean, obviously, we'll roll this out over several releases, starting with the next release, mostly around, obviously, finance and procurement and so forth. But we do expect to expand this, to CX and other areas as well. So that's still being worked out. But yeah. All right.
So the last thing, I forgot to launch our NPS poll. We would love to hear your feedback, see how happy you were with the content and overall webinar that you joined today. So if you can spend just a few seconds, respond to the survey, that would be super helpful to us. If there are any other questions, feel free to reach out to me, and I'm happy to direct your questions to our team. And again, thank you so much for joining us today.